Have you ever walked into a room and immediately felt dismissed? Maybe someone interrupted you mid-sentence, or their eyes flickered with indifference. These moments, seemingly small, chip away at your confidence. But what if the power to command respect lies not in forcing it, but in embodying it? The Stoics teach us that respect is not something we seek, it's something we radiate. It's not about controlling others, but about standing firm in who we are. In this video, we'll explore 9 timeless Stoic lessons that will ensure no one disrespects you again. Lessons that will sharpen your awareness, strengthen your character, and help you navigate even the stormiest waters with unwavering resolve. Stay until the end, absorb each lesson, and if you're ready to take this journey, comment "I embrace strength," a small step toward a life of quiet confidence and unshakable respect. Lesson 1. Compassion, strength in understanding. Compassion is not just about kindness, it is about strength and wisdom in action. The Stoics understood that true compassion is not an emotional indulgence, but a disciplined approach to understanding others without being ruled by emotions. True compassion is not weakness, it is resilience in its purest form. Imagine a workplace conflict. A colleague undermines your ideas in a meeting, your blood boils, and the urge to retaliate is strong. But a Stoic steps back, observing rather than reacting. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, whenever you are about to find fault with someone, ask yourself, what fault of mine most nearly resembles the one I'm about to criticize? Instead of fueling conflict, you respond with composure, addressing the issue with reason rather than rage. By doing so, you shift the dynamic from hostility to respect. At home, tensions can arise just as easily. Perhaps your spouse is short-tempered. After a long day, instead of snapping back, you recognize their frustration for what it is, a passing storm, not an attack. You choose patience over pride, diffusing the moment rather than escalating it. Consider Abraham Lincoln, who often faced harsh criticism. Instead of reacting in anger, he took time to reflect before responding. Mastering the art of self-control, his ability to temper emotion with wisdom earned him deep respect and lasting influence. Compassion, when paired with discipline, creates an unshakable presence. It does not make you weak, it makes you formidable. In every interaction, we have a choice: be ruled by emotion or rise above it. True Stoics choose the latter, and in doing so, command the respect they never have to demand. Lesson 2. Right speech. Words as a reflection of character. Words are not merely sounds. They shape our reality, build our reputation, and determine how others treat us. The Stoics understood that speech is a reflection of character, and mastering it is key to commanding respect. Think about a conversation with a close friend. Have you ever spoken in frustration and immediately regretted it? Words, once spoken, cannot be undone. Seneca reminds us, better to trip with the feet than with the tongue. A Stoic understands that measured, deliberate speech is a mark of strength. Consider a father speaking to his teenage son who just made a serious mistake. He could lash out in anger, but instead, he takes a deep breath and speaks with patience. His words are not meant to punish, but to guide. This control earns the respect of his child more than any outburst ever could. At work, imagine you are overlooked for a promotion in favor of someone less deserving. The emotional response might be outrage or bitterness. A Stoic, however, recognizes that words fueled by resentment serve no purpose. Instead, they ask themselves, what is within my control? They choose to speak with clarity, addressing their concerns with logic, not emotion, proving their worth through composed action. Even in moments of confrontation, silence can be more powerful than words. When someone disrespects you, reacting impulsively only hands them control. Instead, holding your composure forces them to reconsider their stance. The ability to speak, or not speak, deliberately, is what separates the weak from the strong. Master your speech, and you will master the way you command respect. Lesson 3. Mindfulness, the power of presence. Why do some people command respect effortlessly while others struggle to be taken seriously? The answer lies not in force, but in presence, the ability to exist fully in the moment, unshaken by external chaos. In Stoic philosophy, mindfulness is not just a practice, it is a discipline. To live mindfully is to observe without being controlled by fleeting emotions, to maintain composure in the face of provocation, and to cultivate self-awareness in every interaction. Imagine you're in a heated discussion at work. A colleague dismisses your idea without consideration. The impulsive response is to lash out, to defend your stance aggressively. But a Stoic understands that the true battle is within. Instead of reacting emotionally, they pause, breathe, and respond with measured confidence. The room takes notice, not because of force, but because of poise. At home, tensions arise just as easily. Perhaps your partner criticizes something you've done. A knee-jerk reaction would be defensiveness, escalating the situation. Instead, a Stoic listens, processes, and speaks only when their words serve a purpose. This is not passivity, it is control, the power of restraint. Practice stillness. Even amid chaos, find a moment of silence to regain control. Respond, don't react. When confronted with disrespect, maintain your composure. A calm presence commands. Attention, consider Marcus Aurelius, who ruled an empire yet spent time journaling his thoughts, anchoring himself in wisdom rather than impulse. His power was not in force, but in restraint. Mindfulness is not passive, it is the ultimate power. It allows us to navigate life with clarity, strength, and an unshakable presence. Lesson 4. Forgiveness, the liberation of the self. Resentment is like gripping a burning coal. It only harms the one holding it. The Stoics understood that forgiveness is not an act of submission, but a path to inner freedom. Picture a workplace scenario where a colleague takes credit for your hard work. The sting of betrayal tempts you to hold on to anger, replaying the injustice in your mind. But what power does resentment grant you? None. Instead, a Stoic would acknowledge the wrong, learn from it, and move forward, unburdened. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." In personal relationships, grudges erode trust and inner peace. A friend forgets an important promise. A family member lashes out unfairly. The instinct is to dwell on the slight, but what does that achieve? The true Stoic recognizes that people act from their own struggles, not as direct attacks. We choose whether to be prisoners of our emotions or masters of our response. Forgiveness is not approval. It is control. It is the power to release what no longer serves us. The past is immutable, but our present state of mind is within our grasp. When we rise above bitterness, we embody true strength. Forgiveness frees you from the chains of the past. It is not surrender. It is victory over the self. Lesson 5. Non-attachment, becoming untouchable. True strength comes from detachment, from outcomes, possessions, and the need for approval. When you master this, you become untouchable. Imagine working tirelessly on a project, pouring in countless hours, only to have your contributions overlooked. The natural reaction is frustration, resentment, but the Stoic does not tie their worth to external recognition. Detach from outcomes, focus on the effort, not the result. The work itself is the reward. In relationships too, we often crave validation, whether from a friend, a spouse, or even a social media audience. But this need enslaves us. Let go of material dependence. The less you rely on external markers of success for happiness, the freer you become. Your sense of worth should come from within, not from fleeting praise or status symbols. Consider Epictetus, who was born into slavery, yet rose to become one of the most respected Stoic philosophers. He had nothing, no wealth, no possessions, yet he was unshakable because his strength came from within. Release. The need for validation. Your dignity is not for others to grant or take away. Non-attachment is not indifference. It is the ultimate form of control. When you stop chasing respect, you naturally command it. You stand firm, untouched by the whims of others. This is how a true Stoic moves through the world, self-contained, resolute, and unbreakable. Lesson 6. Humility. Strength in acknowledging limitations. True strength is not found in arrogance, but in humility. The wise do not pretend to be above others. They remain open to growth and self-reflection. Consider a workplace scenario where a leader constantly takes credit for success but blames others for failure. Over time, respect for them erodes. Now think of a leader who acknowledges their team's contributions, admits mistakes, and seeks to improve. Their humility earns them admiration, not by force, but by presence. At home, a father apologizes to his child. After losing his temper, he does not cling to pride, but instead teaches the child a valuable lesson. Strength is found in the ability to recognize one's faults and grow. A true Stoic sees no shame in admitting their flaws, only in failing to address them. Consider Socrates, who despite being one of the greatest thinkers, claimed to know nothing. His wisdom was rooted in his humility, the willingness to question himself, to listen, to learn. Humility commands respect. The more you listen, the more you grow, and the more you naturally command admiration. Lesson 7. Patience, the discipline of strength. Patience is not passive. It is an active display of self-mastery. Those who cultivate patience do not merely wait, they endure with unwavering strength. Picture this. You're stuck in traffic, running late for an important meeting. The driver ahead is moving at a crawl. Anger bubbles inside you. But ask yourself, will your frustration change the situation? A Stoic breathes, lets go of what they cannot control, and remains composed. Or consider the workplace. A colleague receives praise for an idea that was originally yours. The temptation is to call them out, to demand recognition. But a Stoic knows that true respect is earned over time, not in the heat of a single moment. You keep working, let your actions speak, and in the long run, your consistency builds an unshakable reputation. Abraham Lincoln, one of history's most revered leaders, was repeatedly underestimated. Yet he understood that patience was his greatest ally. He did not react to insults or hasty judgments, but instead waited, proving his worth through action. This discipline of patience allowed him to steer a divided nation through its darkest hour. Mastering patience prevents you from being controlled by emotions. It is a quiet power that turns obstacles into stepping stones and frustration into wisdom. Lesson 8. Kindness, the ultimate power. Kindness is not weakness, it is the hidden strength that holds true power. A Stoic understands that true dominance is not exerted through force, but through unshakable character and self-mastery. Imagine a workplace where two managers lead very differently. One rules through fear, barking orders, making threats, and crushing any sign of disagreement. The other leads with steady confidence, guiding employees with patience and fairness. Both managers have authority, but only one earns genuine respect. A Stoic does not demand loyalty, they command it through virtue. In everyday life, we are often tested. A rude cashier, an impatient driver, a colleague who takes credit for your work. The easy reaction is anger, but anger is fleeting and self-destructive. Instead, a Stoic sees these as opportunities to practice control, to embody strength, to remain unmoved by petty provocations. Treat others with dignity, even when they do not offer the same in return. This is not for their sake, but for ours, to prove to ourselves that we are above emotional impulse. Lead with patience and understanding, knowing that others act based on their own struggles and limitations. To retaliate with cruelty is to stoop to their level. To rise above is to show true strength. Balance kindness with firm boundaries. A Stoic does not allow their compassion to be mistaken for weakness. Be gentle but resolute. Consider Fred Rogers, a man who built a legacy on kindness. He was never loud, never forceful, yet his presence influenced millions. Why? Because his kindness was rooted in principle, not fragility. Kindness is a quiet force. It transforms how others perceive you and strengthens the foundation of self-respect. The world does not need more reactionary anger. It needs more controlled, deliberate strength. Lesson 9. Gratitude, the mindset of strength. A grateful heart is an unshakable heart. When we recognize what we have, we stop seeking validation from the outside world. We free ourselves from the endless pursuit of more. And in doing so, we become untouchable. Imagine a colleague who constantly complains about their job, always comparing themselves to others. Their frustration grows, their resentment festers. Now picture another colleague who, despite challenges, focuses on what they have: a steady income, opportunities for growth, a network of support. The difference between the two is not circumstance, but mindset. Gratitude is a choice. Keep a gratitude journal. Each day, write 3 things that bring you strength, no matter how small. Express appreciation openly. Acknowledge those who support you. Focus on what is present, not what is lacking. Consider Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor who, despite enduring the unthinkable, found purpose in gratitude. He saw that even in suffering, one could choose their response. If he could find meaning in the darkest conditions, we can surely find it in our daily struggles. Gratitude is not complacency. It is resilience. It is the refusal to be broken by what we lack and the power to rise through what we have. Which lesson resonated with you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments. If you found this valuable, like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Respect is not something you chase, it's something you attract. See you in the next video.